Welcome back. Now, we did in our last segment, we did a section on what I call open body language. You know, if I'm talking to you like this or like this, maybe lean back a little bit. Now, one thing I did in that last segment is I introduced you to either you know how to do it or you don't. And I want to bring up a story which may not be directly in relation to it, but it really applies. I was actually walking downtown San Rafael. It's actually from the police station. And there was a lady training a dog, a guide dog, and she clearly didn't know how to train the guide dog. She got so mad, she took the dog and she jerked it up off its feet. Literally, probably the feet were off about 2 feet off the ground. And she did it like 6 or 7 times in a row with her entire body weight. And I went up there and said, whoa, 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 what are you doing? You don't. And she goes, that's the way we do it. And I'm like, no. And I actually went down and I talked to the head guy down at the blind dog thing. And I said, let me tell you something. I'm in personal development. Either you know how to train someone or you don't. It's the same thing with you. Either you know how to approach a woman or you don't. In the last segment, I gave you some body language, body positioning, we should call it. When you get better and better actually knowing how to do it, suddenly a whole new world opens up to you and it becomes very clear. For the guys who don't know how to do it, those are the guys that either say, oh, I'm not tall enough, I'm too fat, or I'm too old, or I don't know, my car isn't expensive, or I don't make enough money. That is all BS, because I've had clients that are 55 years old with big pot bellies, bald heads, and all of a sudden they're dating women in their 30s, late 20s, 30s, 38, 40, 42, beautiful women with careers, master's degrees, own their own businesses, lawyers, doctors, and suddenly they go from these guys who hadn't had a date in 2 years to now they're starting to date quality women who actually have lives. You want to know why? Because they actually learn how to do it. So I'm going to give you one more body language thing. I was at a club with a client of mine, and we walked through this, but it's such a habit for men to do it the old way. And what my job is to break that habit to where you begin doing it the better way. I'm telling you, this new way of doing things is 10 times more powerful. And I want to emphasize the word power. It literally gives you dating and relationship power. So once you get into a relationship, you have the form of power, social power, body language, communication skills that women are very drawn to and attract to. Women want you to know how to do this. They want you to have this social power. It is a major emotional and sexual turn on. It'll draw women to you. All right? So we're at this club, and it's kind of packed, but it wasn't that packed actually. There was actually a clean way for her to walk through, and she's walking this way, and he jumps in front of her, hi! And he says his name and everything, and he puts his hand up, and she's like, oh my God, and she's literally like doing this and stuff, and she's trying to get by. So she steps this way, he went like this. She steps that way, he went like that. I literally grabbed him and go, dude, don't do that. And I go ahead. And I let her go through. He goes, what are you doing? She liked me. I'm like, no, dude, you were scaring her. A lot of times when men, as I've said before, do things that they think is normal, guys, you're going to have to understand, when you open up, you're going to see a new world, and you're going to realize that a lot of things you did was very intimidating, was very controlling, and it's very forceful. That, again, as I've said, that may have worked 150 years ago, 2,000 years ago, in the caveman days, but it doesn't work anymore. Women don't have to put up with that, and they won't. And the thing about it is, guys, in the modern age, that is not the way you get a woman. You know, here's a concept. You can either attract a woman in a way that makes her want to be with you, or you can force her to be with you because you have money over her, or you have some kind of power over her. Or you can have what's called internal power, where she wants to be with you because you have your own power. You have social skills, body language, because she wants to be with you, because you have potential in life. This course is going to give you social skills, body language. It's going to give you social influence. And you're going to gain a lot more respect from your family and your friends. Let's see. I'm going to make a quick note here. Never, ever, ever grab a woman's arm, especially forcefully. You can gently touch her, maybe cup her elbow or something like that. But even then, I wouldn't do it. At a club, you can kind of tap on the arm and stuff like that. And this is another, call it a tip. Now, at a club, it's loud. Now, at these places where the club's loud, there's a lot of people in action, it's okay to touch a girl on the arm here or here, somewhere around here, maybe the forearm, okay? Don't grab her hand like that. Now, there's one little tip that I'm going to give you. And it's actually completely the opposite of a famous pickup artist. He says, when you touch a woman, and he said it very feminine-like, you gently touch her like this. No, don't do that. That'll creep her out. Ariel, do you remember me doing this with you? When I tapped you on the arm, and I was kind of showing you some of the things I teach? When you touch a girl, you want to touch her either like with an open palm, but you want to do it firm. You want to put weight and pressure on it, or with the back of your hand. And I'll tell you why. If you don't do that, it's going to freak her out because it's going to make her feel like you're creeping up on her if you barely touch her. No, be a man. Hi, how you doing? It has to be normal. All right? I think you get the gist. And again, this is just tips for right now. There's a lot more that goes along with body language and touching and all that stuff. Either you know how to do it or you don't know how. The woman who was jerking on the dog clearly didn't know how to train this dog. My dad used to train dogs when I was a kid. And as I grew up, he stopped doing that. I remember one day, he goes, Michael, you never, ever, ever hit a dog. I'm like, are you sure? He goes, Michael, never. He goes, if you have to use physical force, that means you don't know what you're doing. You don't know how to train a dog. Because the thing about dogs is they want to follow you. They want you to lead. But if you're hitting them and abusing them, what you're saying is, I don't know what I'm doing. Just like when this lady was jerking on that dog. I looked at her and I was like, you don't know how to train this dog. Maybe she goes, oh, yes, I do. Maybe she did in other segments, but clearly in this one thing she was trying to get the dog to understand on how to lead blind people up stairs, she clearly did. You don't use force. So the point being is she needed to be trained in this one area a little bit better, okay? And that's a metaphor to let you know that as my clients go through my course, in the beginning it's not easy. I'm going to be real blunt. If you think you're going to walk in one day and walk out the next day and be a master, it's not going to happen. This is something like guitar lessons. You're going to have to practice and learn. But the great thing is it doesn't take 4, 5, or 6 years to learn. It's going to take about 10 sessions, maybe a little more. And then it's going to take practice and practice, maybe a couple of refresher sessions. And that's it. It takes 2 or 3 months to get good at it. But it actually can be a lot shorter if you do what I tell you. So, again, going back to my dad saying you don't hit a dog and this woman jerking on this dog, is if they knew how to train the dog, she wouldn't have to use abuse and force. It's the same thing with women. You don't have to force her. You don't have to. Paying for dinner, giving lots of money and paying for drinks, it's almost equivalent to jerking on that dog and abusing a dog. And women don't like it. And I don't know if I said this part. A woman, yeah, I think I did. When you pay for dinner, and it's really good to repeat, if you have to pay for drink after drink, dinner after dinner, and chocolates and candies to earn a woman's love, guess what? That's going to turn her off and it's going to upset her because she needs emotional fulfillment through communication, which I will teach you in the course. You can do it right at the club. You can be amazed at how women are drawn to you. And I want to talk to this guy. I like this guy. I was one of those guys who couldn't pick up on women. I'm going to be really honest and really blunt right now. I had a girlfriend for 4 years who treated me like crap. I was captain of the football team, captain of the wrestling team, popular with all the friends and stuff. I had one girlfriend because I couldn't meet other girls. I didn't know how. Even when a girl was throwing herself at me, I couldn't see it. And I'm going to teach you how to see when women are attracted to you. Because when men are in what's called the left brain, the linear mode, they miss that. It goes right over their head. I will teach you how to be aware of who's attracted to you and who's not. So what I'm trying to say is I had another girl after her, girlfriend, for 8 years, and she cheated on me, she lied to me, she disrespected, she told me to my face, I don't respect you. And you know what? I learned a lot from that. She ripped my heart out in a way that you can't imagine. It took me time to figure this out, and I had to read and study. Unfortunately, I was trained in hypnosis and NLP, and that is what gave me a foot. The point is this. I have real life experiences of being one of these guys who couldn't meet women to being one of these guys who is very normal, very natural with women, and you can learn how to be natural. It's not something you're born with. I don't believe that. It's something you learn. It's something you develop over time. When I teach you how to open up, that's going to be the biggest change in your life. So I want to say thank you again. I hope this series has at least introduced you to some of the things that I teach. Give me a call at 415-456-8255. 8558. And again, it's MikeColeen.com. Thank you.